and I always thought my stepmother was just strict until I found the hidden room in our basement. My dad remarried when I was 10, and from the start, my stepmother, Karen, was a nightmare. She was cold, manipulative, and always seemed to find new ways to make my life miserable. As I got older, her behavior only got worse. She controlled every aspect of our household, and my dad seemed oblivious to her cruelty. But it wasn't until last summer that I realized just how twisted she really was. One night, while my dad was away on a business trip, I was in the basement looking for old photo albums for a school project. I noticed something odd. A section of the wall sounded hollow when I knocked on it. Intrigued, I pushed against it, and to my surprise, a hidden door creaked open. Inside was a small, dimly lit room filled with old furniture and strange objects. The first thing I saw was a collection of old, creepy dolls, all with their eyes gouged out. My heart raced as I stepped further into the room. There were shelves filled with jars of unidentifiable substances, and the walls were covered in bizarre symbols and drawings. In the corner, I found a small table with an old, leather-bound book on it. It looked like a journal. Flipping through the pages, my stomach turned. The entries were written in Karen's neat handwriting and detailed her twisted fantasies and dark rituals. She wrote about her obsession with controlling others, how she enjoyed inflicting pain, and hinted at performing some kind of dark magic. The most chilling part was an entry about me. She described how she had been subtly poisoning me for years, enjoying my slow suffering. I snapped pictures of the pages with my phone, then quickly closed the book, my hands shaking. I needed to get out of there. As I turned to leave, I accidentally knocked over a jar, spilling its contents onto the floor. The liquid hissed and bubbled, releasing a noxious smell that made me gag. Panicked, I fled the basement and locked the door behind me. That night, I didn't sleep. I stayed in my room, clutching my phone, waiting for my dad to come home. The next morning, I showed him the pictures and told him everything. At first, he was in denial, but the evidence was undeniable. He confronted Karen, and she denied it all, of course. But her reaction was too frantic, too desperate. We left the house that day and stayed with my aunt while the police investigated. They found more disturbing things in the basement, confirming my worst fears. Karen was arrested and charged with multiple counts of child endangerment and abuse. She had been living a double life, hiding her true nature behind a facade of normalcy. It's been months since she was taken away, but I still have nightmares about what I found in that hidden room. My dad and I are trying to rebuild our lives, but the scars of Karen's wickedness run deep. I can never forget the horrors she hid beneath our home, and the realization that the person meant to care for me was secretly plotting my demise.